topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Welcome to my radio and TV show, Debi Changes Lives. I'm Debi, your certified holistic health coach. I revitalize people's lives by helping them identify the root causes for their health issues, and I create a custom natural holistic strategy to address them in the areas of mind, body, and soul. As a health coach, I'm not allowed to say that I heal, treat, cure, prevent, or diagnose any diseases. I simply help you reduce symptoms and make your body more efficient. And you'll feel better, be more productive, and enjoy life more. Is intermittent fasting a fad? No, it's not. It's actually very popular because it works. Intermittent fasting gives you mental clarity, repairs cells, and reduces inflammation. Why fast the intermittent fasting program that does all that and gets your cells and body humming and in turn boosts your metabolism with rich, dense nutrition and high-quality nutrients, and a program of exercises and recipes. Its components are a natural part of all my programs, and it can easily be done by itself. You can reach out for me for more information about it and my coaching programs at my complimentary consultation button of my link tree at Debi Changes Lives. That's DebiChangesLives, as in victory, es.com/linktree, LINKTREE. And when you do that, I will fill you in. And as a certified holistic health coach, I do revitalize people's lives in many different areas of health. I guide you to clean, toxic-free food and high-quality nutrients. My coaching is for optimizing your health, releasing weight efficiently, and enhancing your mindset. You'll see and feel the differences with my coaching programs. Today, I am thrilled to have compounding pharmacist Ben Fuchs back in my show. Ben is an expert in health and fitness and a skincare expert as well. And he is a dynamic speaker. He has his own radio show called The Bright Side and several shows with critical health news with one of my friends, Becca Dukes, called Daily with Doc. And you can see that at bit.ly/Daily with Doc, all in lowercase, and tell them I sent you. I have learned so much over the years from Ben on different topics, and I've actually had him on my show a few times. And the last show was actually the truth about cholesterol. And we covered a lot of topics on that day, and we had so many questions that we ran out of time. So we're following up today about cholesterol, a couple more little topics about dirty blood and digestion. Any products that Ben mentions, you can reach out to me. If it's skincare, you reach out to him. So let's welcome Ben Fuchs, a compounding pharmacist, back to my show.
Hi there, Debi. You're looking beautiful as always, radiant.
Thank you, Ben.
Your longevity is definitely working on you.
Thank you.
You look brighter and healthier and younger.
Oh, thank you. Well, when we were talking last time, those questions came up on the our cholesterol show, and we talked about answering some of them about dirty blood and digestion. Could you start off talking about dirty blood? Because I know, if our gut's not healthy, things can spill into the blood. So can you just give us some more details?
Sure, I'd love to give you more details. First of all, when we talk about the body from a biochemistry standpoint with health and disease, we're really talking about the blood. Blood is, you can think of the blood compared to the rest of the body like sort of like a river in a city. Cities are usually built around rivers, right?
Yes.
There's reasons for that because back in the day, rivers represented ways of getting goods back and forth and Waterways were very important for energy production, etc. So you find that a lot of cities are built around waterways. That's kind of how the body is built. The tissues are built around the fluid system. Now we say the blood, but really mean the circulatory system, which includes the lymph. But for our purposes, we'll restrict it to the blood. So you have the blood and you've got the rest of the body. When we are sick, we're sick at the level of the body, but because of the relationship between the blood and the rest of the body, the sickness begins in the blood. It is the blood that's responsible for feeding the body. And when I say the body, let's make it more granular. The cells which make up the body. The body is made up of cells and stuff that comes out of the cells. The cells are the living portion of the body. So the cells themselves are responsible for the health or the lack of health in the body. And I have a saying that I use when I'm doing my presentations. I say all disease is cell disease, right?
Yes.
Because when we're sick at the level of the cell. Diabetes is a pancreatic cell issue. Arthritis is a joint cell issue. Irritable bowel syndrome is an intestinal cell issue. Sometimes I like to kind of wake people up, see if they're sleeping or they're not paying attention when I'm doing my talk. So I say, there's no such thing as breast cancer. And people go, oh my God, how can you say that? My mother, my sister, my girlfriend, my friend had breast cancer. How can you say that? And I go, yeah, there's no such thing as breast cancer. There's no such thing as prostate cancer. Oh my God, I have prostate cancer. My dad had prostate cancer. My brother had prostate. There's no such thing as bone cancer. There's no such thing as liver cancer. There's breast cell cancer. There's prostate cell cancer. Diseases are cellular in nature.
Yes, they are.
But we don't treat the cell. And the reason we don't treat the cell, why we do this, our medical model has this smoke and mirrors trick called misdirection in magic, where they want you to focus on the organ, not the cell. So they'll treat the organ, not the cell. And the reason they don't treat the cell is because there's nothing they can do about the cell. See, a cell is not stupid. Cell's been around for 3.5 billion years. And in that 3.5 billion years, it's learned what it needs. And drugs ain't on the menu. There's nothing in the doctor's magical bag of tricks, in fact, that's on the cellular menu. And there's nothing the medical model can do to treat a cell. So when we're sick at the level of the cell, but there's nothing the doctor can do at the level of the cell. So what do? Well, we can do it ourselves. And this is my message. We can be our own health authority because the cell, while it's not amenable to the doctor's strategies, to the drugs well, I shouldn't say that, because with the medical strategies, you can poison a cell. That's what drugs do. You can excise or remove a cell. That's what surgeries do. You can electrocute a cell. That's what ablations do. You can radiate a cell. That's what x-rays do. But you can't give a cell what it needs from a medical perspective, because cells get what they need from lifestyle perspectives. And in fact, there's really only 3 things a cell needs. So if all disease is cell disease, then that means one or more of those 3 things the cell's not able to obtain one or more of those 3 things. So what are those 3 things? Food, oxygen, and a clean place to do its work. Exactly. So all disease is cell disease, and all cell disease is about starvation, suffocation, and toxification. So what does that have to do with the blood? Well, it's the blood that feeds the cells. It's the blood that oxygenates the cells. It's the blood that detoxifies the cells. So all disease is cell disease, but all cell disease is preceded by dirty blood. So What do we mean by dirty blood? First of all, I use the term dirty blood. It's kind of a colloquial term because it's sort of attention getting, but that's really what's happening. The blood becomes sludgy and thick, and it doesn't move as effectively, which means it's not going to distribute the nutrients as effectively to the cells, leading to starvation. It's not going to distribute the oxygen effectively to the cells, leading to suffocation. And it's not going to be able to clean the cells out effectively, leading to toxification. At this point, you have a cell that is somehow compromised. It's not being fed, it's not being oxygenated, and it's not being detoxified. Eventually, that cell is going to become weakened. It's not going to be as efficient. Inefficient cells will activate the immune system. The immune system will kick in and will start to wall off that cell. That walling off of the cell is called inflammation. And this inflammation cascade, while it's protective in the short run, and when it happens once in a while, when it happens chronically, due to chronic dirty blood, due to chronic starvation, suffocation, toxification, eventually you get chronic inflammation. And this is the cause of all chronic degenerative diseases. Chronic inflammation following cellular starvation, suffocation, and toxification following dirty blood. The question then becomes, how does the blood get dirty? Well, there's only two ways that the blood can be contaminated, and we have to understand the blood is the sacred space. In the Bible, in Leviticus, it tells us the life of the flesh is in the blood. It's the blood. It's all about the blood. And so keeping that blood clean, keeping that blood flowing, keeping the blood moving, keeping the blood oxygenated and nutriated is critical. So what is it that gets into the blood? Well, let me back up real quickly. How does stuff get into the blood? Well, there's one way you can get stuff into the blood through injection. You inject stuff through the skin, it goes right into the blood. And this is why you have to be very, 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 very careful about things you inject. And any healthcare professional who says, oh, you might catch a cold or get a virus, you better inject this into your blood, should be regarded with great skepticism.
Yes.
Because what you're doing is you're bypassing the body's protective mechanisms, which the blood is protected by the liver. You're bypassing that by sticking stuff right into your bloodstream. So if somebody says, oh, there's a virus going on, you better get this injection. And we don't really know what's in the injection. It's a new invention. It's a genetic invention. You better inject it. That's a healthcare professional that should be regarded with great skepticism. And personally, I would run out of that healthcare professional's office, not even walk, and I would never see him again. Anybody who tells you it's okay to inject something in the blood without knowing what that substance is, so you don't get a virus, you don't catch a cold or whatever it is, should be regarded with great skepticism.
Yeah,
So
they should talk to you about it and tell you what it's for.
Yes, I don't want to mention any names or, because you'll get cut, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, but we had a question.
Let me finish real quick.
Okay.
So injecting things into the blood is one way things get into the bloodstream. And we know that people who inject drugs, crack or meth or heroin, they end up with a lot of the same chronic degenerative diseases that people who have the other issue have. So the other issue is where most of us contaminate our blood. Most of us aren't injecting things in through the skin into the bloodstream. However, there's a second way things get into the bloodstream. See, when you eat a food, it goes into your mouth and into your stomach and then into your intestine. In the intestine, foods which should be ideally broken down into their nutritional components cross over the intestine into the bloodstream. That's what's supposed to happen. However, as the impact of nutritional deficiencies kick in, eating the wrong foods kick in, poor lifestyle strategies kick in, eventually you develop leaks in that intestinal lining, and then particles, literal food particles, as well as immune particles, as well as bacterial particles, as well as bacterial secretions can enter into the bloodstream. Mm-hmm. This is the major cause of dirty blood, toxicity from foods and other components in the intestine that enter into the bloodstream. Once that happens, you are off to the disease races. I'm going to say something very important now for anybody who's dealing with a chronic degenerative disease. There is no such thing as a chronic degenerative disease that is not associated with dirty blood. For most people, that's going to be through foods, but occasionally, as I said, if you're injecting things, you can run into the same problems that people who have food or digestive issues and leaky gut, this condition which is called leaky gut or intestinal permeability syndrome, can have. Now, also, I should say that once you have this disruption at the level of the intestine and the blood, it's a short jump to what's called metabolic syndrome, which is problems processing sugar and problems with elevated insulin. And these are the two major points of bodily breakdown that are linked to all chronic degenerative diseases, all of them. Disruptions at the level of the intestine leading to leaky gut, and then disturbances in the blood sugar system, dysglycemia, messed up blood sugar, leading to metabolic syndrome. What's so beautiful about this model is it places the responsibility for correcting the issues, the health challenges, and restoring ourselves back to our good state of health and improving and enhancing our longevity squarely where it belongs. Not in the doctor's office, not in the healthcare professionals' protocols, in our living rooms and in our bathrooms and in our kitchens. It places the responsibility for our health where it belongs, with us. It allows us to be our own health authorities. And that is my message. We want to be our own health authority.
Yeah, we need to be our own health authority. So we had 3 questions come up on the screen this time.
Already? Oh, my goodness.
And so can you bring the first one up, Rebel? It was about how can you clean our blood?
Well, that's a great question. There's a lot of ways to clean the blood. First of all, you can put things in the body that actually will magnetically attract toxins out of the blood. One of these substances is something you can get at a chiropractor or alternative practitioner's office called EDTA. EDTA is known as a chelating agent, and chelation is a magnetic attraction that pulls toxins out of the blood. You can also use things like zeolite or bentonite clay, which also have an ability to filter out or to attract toxins out of the blood. You can use full-blown nutritional supplements to chelate and clean the blood. For example, selenium is a chelating agent. Sulfur is a chelating agent. Vitamin C is a chelating agent. N-acetylcysteine is a chelating agent. And one of the all-time great blood detoxifiers is something that you and I know have been studying for years, and that's plant-derived minerals from longevity. Plant-derived minerals, this was Dr. Wallach's brilliant insight. He had many brilliant insights, but one of his most brilliant insights was the idea that you could use plant-derived minerals as a source of nutrition to replace the minerals that should be in the vegetables that either we're not eating, or if we're not eating, they're not in the soil. These plant-derived minerals are among nature's best detoxifying substances, and they can clean out the blood. And then there's something that I know you love talking about, and we're going to talk about it today for cleaning out the blood, and that's fasting. When you stop eating, the body performs like a self-cleaning dishwasher. It's like when you run your dishwasher without food, the dishwasher cleans itself out. I have a Vitamix, and they tell you every so often when you want to clean your Vitamix, just run the Vitamix with a little water and soap, and it'll clean itself out. This is what happens when we fast. And this is one of the most important benefits of regular fasting practices or intermittent fasting practices is it helps clean the blood. And then, of course, if you have digestive health issues, gluten intolerance, lectin intolerance, a condition called SIBO, which we might want to talk about, working on digestive health by doing a food diary, eliminating problem foods, using digestive support. If you're using the longevity products, I-26 and the ultimate enzymes and the daily digest capsules and the ultimate microbiome and the ultimate nightly essence and the ultimate enzymes, all of these will help clean the blood. And in fact, speaking of the ultimate enzymes, if you take your ultimate digestive enzymes on an empty stomach, they will have a blood cleaning, they will provide blood cleaning benefits as well. Taken on an empty stomach, you take them with food, they'll help you digest your food. But if you take them on an empty stomach, they will impart blood cleaning benefits as the enzymes make it into the bloodstream through your digestive tract.
Yeah. Another product I like is Hope. Have you heard the State Naturals Hope? It's actually a blood cleaner.
Oh, yes. I forgot. That's good. Stay Natural. Listen, Stanley not only is a great guy and a good friend, he is a brilliant mind. And his wife, maybe even more brilliant, Dr. Laura Dennison. And Stan, Stan likes to play it down a little bit, but he's super bright. Laura, she is a healthcare professional, a Hall of Fame healthcare professional. And Hope is a blood cleaning product. That's exactly right. And I love Stay Natural. And, if I could throw one more product in, Stan has a product called TMR, Total Meal Replacement, which I use every day. And I absolutely love that. So yes, the Hope blood purifier is great. And I encourage everybody out there who's in longevity or even not, get on, look up the Stay Natural products. That's the name of his company, is Stay Natural. Look at the Stay Natural products. There's some incredible herbal formulations. And you're right, the Hope is a great blood cleaning formula.
Yeah. And then the second question, if you could bring that up, Rebel. It was, how do you feel about the difference between injections and supplements? And go ahead and answer that.
What do you feel the difference between injection and supplements are? I think they mean nutritional. I assume they mean intravenous nutrition. I think that's what this person means.
Yeah. So
intravenous nutrition is awesome. Absolutely awesome. And if I had, God forbid, a horrible cancer or horrible disease, I'd be finding IV nutritionist, a nurse or a hospital or a place where I get IV nutrition stat. That means immediately in pharmacy, right away. However, it's expensive. It's hard to find well-rounded nutritional protocols because sometimes they only use them. These places only have the most popular nutrients like vitamin C or the B complex or magnesium, which is still good, but they don't really have the well-rounded Mighty 9 essential nutrients. So nutritional supplementation is still, it's the best way to get a complete spectrum of the Mighty 9 essential nutrients in an economic way. The IV nutrition obviously goes right into the blood, so you're bypassing any digestive health issues that you may have, and malabsorption is another problem. We talked about leaky gut, but what we didn't say is when you have leaky gut, oftentimes you have malabsorption too, because you're not absorbing things correctly. So you bypass all of that. You bypass stomach problems if you're not making enough stomach acid with IV nutrition. So IV nutrition is awesome, but it's not really practical and it is expensive. So if you want to do it right, do your longevity supplements and then periodically get some IV nutrition, particularly IV vitamin C, which is crazy effective for almost every health challenge you can name, in addition to just longevity. Okay. By the way, cleaning the blood via chelation therapy, the medical folks don't really like chelation therapy, but cleaning the blood with chelation therapy is one of the all-time great longevity promoting health strategies, even if you're not dealing with a health challenge. Just keeping that blood chelated and clean once a month, every couple of months. I know a lot of folks, I know a lot of medical doctors, elderly medical doctors, who actually practice chelation therapy on themselves.
Yeah, that's important. And it's an option. Now, there was a third question.
Yes.
So if you could bring that up, Rebel.
Are these correct?
I think he's talking about the chronic blood. You know, you're talking about dirty blood, and because I think that's when it came
all
up.
Correctable. Everything I talked about is correctable. The body can turn on a dime, but we have to turn on a dime first. The body can do a U-turn, but we have to do the U-turn first. And one of the great gifts of the human body is the sicker we are, the faster we begin the turnaround. It may take you longer to complete the turnaround, but you can begin the turnaround quickly. It's like you've probably known people who've lost a lot of weight, right?
Yes.
The first 20, 30, 40 pounds, they come off easy. It's the last 5 pounds or 10 pounds that's the hard part. When the body is out of balance, which is really what's happening when we're sick, correcting that out of balance situation begins quickly. As soon as you remove the stressors and you put the good stuff in, basically that's what we're talking about, good stuff in, bad stuff out, that balance will begin to correct itself immediately within 24 hours, even less. You know, between cigarettes, your lungs are healing. Between bouts of food, your blood pressure is stabilizing. So between stresses, the body starts to recover. So the sicker we are, the faster we can turn this thing around, and the more nutritionally deficient we are, the faster our body absorbs nutrients. Like a dry sponge sucks up more water than a wet sponge, assuming, of course, that your absorption machinery, that is the intestine, is functioning as it should. And this is very important because when we have an intestinal problem, it's not only toxicity that's getting in, it's also nutrients that are not getting in because of that inflammation and that disturbance at the level of the intestinal wall or intestinal lining.
Exactly. And you know, I lost 70 pounds and I've kept it off for over 10 years.
I did. Now that you mentioned, I remember you told me that. And wasn't that true that the first whatever came off easy?
Well, actually, I was considered the star loser.
Oh, you were? You were the star loser? Are you a loser?
It was interesting. I lost 50 pounds, but you know, as it went on, originally, as it went on, it was getting harder later on. But I wasn't taking, you know, I was taking things that you buy from Vitamin Shop, GNC, and all these other companies because I didn't know about longevity yet. And I decided to go on a maintenance. I was like, oh, I'm done. Boom. Because I was so tired with no energy. Okay. I would go to sleep early and be tired. And lo and behold, something dropped in my lap.
Well, beyond Tangy Tangerine.
Yeah, the Healthy Body Star Pack. So I started taking it.
Love this stuff.
Within 4 days, because I dropped 50 pounds of fat, right, which holds toxins and everything else.
Right.
I felt a natural sense of energy.
Awesome.
And I started, you know, staying up like I should. And then later on, I noticed I have foot problems my whole entire life. I noticed my feet weren't so painful, and I eased into running on a treadmill. And then my friend said, oh, you know, 5, 10, 50, up to 50 minutes. And then a friend said, oh, that's nothing. Come running out with me. So I did with her. I did my first 10K with her and hit the wall. And then she asked me to do a half marathon, and I did that. Nice. And I became a runner.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Are you a runner now?
I still run now. So I started running.
Is that how you stay so lean? You're so lean. That's how you stay so lean.
Yeah, that's how I stay so lean. So the only time I didn't run is when I broke my foot. But I learned ways of helping myself get over things quicker. And I just and my podiatrist was so amazed how fast I was healing.
How did you lose the weight?
Keto.
Keto.
It was a keto program that I switched over to, and I lost an additional 20 pounds because I was on the nutritional supplements and and doing everything. I changed my diet, the way I ate, and I switched over to the way young Debi was doing keto too. So it was so.
Yeah,
and
people don't do keto correct. That's a whole other. We can talk about that some other time about how to do keto correctly. Keto's ideal way to eat, but most people don't do it correctly. So you were going 200 pounds, huh?
I lost 70 pounds, and I originally was at 186.
Oh my gosh, Debi, you're like 5'4"? How tall are you?
No, I'm 5'6".
5'6", 5'6",
short on this video.
Okay, 5'6", 180. That's crazy.
186. But
I
just my life completely changed, and I've kept it off for 10 years.
Were you thin as a little girl?
No, I was a person that. This is a little background. My mom would go to the Buttercup Bakery all the time and buy pastries. That's what I got for breakfast.
Oh no! Pastries
so
for breakfast?
I completely changed the way I ate and did everything.
Wow! I'll bet your blood sugar stabilized too.
Well, no one ever said I had blood sugar problems, but I probably did.
You probably did, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good for you. You added years to your life.
I know.
You're inspiration. That's awesome.
So, I had Dr. Joanne Conaway on not too long ago, and she talked about how the oral microbiome is connected with the gut microbiome, and the bacteria actually talks to each other, and I found that fascinating.
Oh, yeah. You got bacteria everywhere. You got bacteria in your respiratory tract. You got bacteria in your genitals. You got bacteria in your eyes. Literally, there's bacteria in your eyes, bacteria in your mouth. Our body is by in terms of the cells, there's 10 times more bacteria than there are us. There's 10 times more bacterial cells than there are human cells. Mm-hmm. The bacteria in our body act as a library of genetic information. They're actually making proteins for us. So there's a symbiotic relationship between the bacteria that live in our bodies and us in terms of our immune system, helping us digest our food, helping us process sugar and process fats, helping communicate to the intestine and communicate to the lungs and communicate to various parts of the various tissues in the body. As I said, the immune system and the skin. Of course, the skin is packed with bacteria. So really, we need to be respecting these little creatures called bacteria. In fact, in the future, everybody's got a cloud of bacteria that they're in. If you could have the right detection mechanisms, you see a cloud of bacteria around us. And when these days, when I was up until maybe 10, 15 years ago, when somebody committed a crime, it was very difficult to find out who committed the crime. Then they came up with DNA, and they found, like, if you had like a hair or a fingernail or a piece of skin or something on the next to the murder or the next to the crime, they could track you with your DNA. And that was a big advance. In 10 or 15 years, you know what they're going to do? They're going to check for the bacteria, because we all have our own personal microbiome. And so when you commit a crime, if you were to commit a crime, you're going to leave your own microbiome as a signature, and they'll be able to track who did the crime based on the bacteria that are at the scene of the crime.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right? As when I do talks, I always tease people. I say, you know what? I'm sitting in this room. There's a cloud of bacteria emanating from all of our bodies and filling up this room. If we could,
like an aura.
It's like an aura. It's like a bacterial aura. And, we have this idea that bacteria are, germs and creepy. And that's not true. A few of maybe 5% of the hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of different types of bacteria, a small percentage are toxic. A small percentage can create health problems. But the vast majority of bacteria are good bacteria. They help us. They help us process our food. They help us boost our immune system. They keep us strong and vital. And we need to be respecting those bacteria. However, because of the way we eat and because of the disruptions in the food supply that have occurred over the last 150 years in a body that has been used to the same food supply for millions of years, certainly hundreds of thousands of years, our bacteria are completely screwed up. This condition is called DIS means dysfunctional or messed up, biosis. And dysbiosis, disturbances in bacteria in the body, are the ground zero of the disease process. This whole thing with leaky gut that we talked about begins with dysbiosis. And this dysbiosis condition is a direct result of the kind of foods we're eating in combination with the kind of nutrients we're not getting. And this 1-2 punch of the wrong kinds of foods And a lack of nutrition is what leads to dysbiosis, disturbances in gut bacteria, in turn leading to SIBO, leaky gut, toxicity in the bloodstream or dirty blood, and all chronic degenerative disease. It starts with dysbiosis.
And cholesterol problems too, right?
Well, the cholesterol is another issue. Now, cholesterol is a building substance. Cholesterol is your most important, arguably the most multifunctional important molecule in the body. Some other people may have disagreements. They may say insulin is. I mean, there's other molecules. I believe cholesterol is the single most important molecule in the body. Cholesterol is responsible for the production of all of your reproductive hormones, your stress hormones, vitamin D, and bile. You can't make cells without cholesterol. The nervous system depends on cholesterol. Cholesterol has a piezoelectric property that allows it to generate electrical charges. It's just a phenomenally valuable molecule. When you have dysbiosis, when you have disturbances at the level of the gut, that is bacterial disturbances, one of the things that happens is you have something called dyslipidemia, disruptions in blood fats. The bacteria in the gut are responsible, or at least have an influence on cholesterol metabolism and the production of various fats, including bile, something called TMAO, short chain fatty acids. There's a very important relationship between the gut microbiome and the production of fats. So elevated cholesterol in the blood can be the result of disruptions at the level of gut bacteria. But what we want to recognize is that for the first time in history, in the year 2024, not maybe the last 30, 40, 50, maybe even 100 years, we've created a completely opposite problem than the problem that human beings had for millennia. For millennia, our problem was getting enough energy, getting enough calories. Calories is a unit of energy. And so for thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of years, the problems that human beings and our ancestors, Homo habilis and Homo Neanderthal and all the previous versions of man before it became Homo sapiens, the main problem is getting enough food, starvation.
Yes.
In the last 150 years, we got the opposite problem. We got too much food. We got too much energy, too much calories. And what cholesterol is a building molecule, and it's connected to the chemistry of energy. So when energy comes in the form of calories, the body says, oh, I'm supposed to be building. That's what energy tells the body it's supposed to be building. So it upregulates, my favorite word in biochemistry, it upregulates the production of all the building stuff. And the most important building molecule is cholesterol. So we've tricked the body into thinking it's supposed to be building itself. We've tricked it by the input of all of this energy. And this is why diabetes and elevated cholesterol go hand in hand. In fact, there are actually prescription drugs that are anti-diabetic and anti-cholesterol in the same pill because of how connected these two biochemical phenomena are. Dysglycemia and dyslipidemia. Dysglycemia meaning messed up blood sugar, dyslipidemia meaning messed up blood fats, including cholesterol. And elevated cholesterol and elevated triglycerides go hand in hand also. So elevated cholesterol should always be backtracked to metabolic syndrome or disruptions with sugar, which in turn should be backtracked to disruptions at the level of the gut. The reason I find this fascinating. Obviously you do too. I'm sure many of your listeners do, but you don't need to know all this stuff. You don't have to be overwhelmed with chemistry or biology. This is lifestyle. This is about the type and the amount of foods that we're eating strictly. This is what causes the digestive issues, the intestinal issues, and it leads to metabolic issues, which leads to all the other health challenges via the adrenals and the thyroid. Now, another thing that we want to understand is while cholesterol is not there's no such thing as bad cholesterol. Cholesterol is a very important molecule. And bad and good are ways that the medical model infantilize us. You know what I mean when I say infantilize us? Make us like babies. They talk to us like we're children, like we're little children. Oh, that's bad cholesterol. Oh, that's good cholesterol. Like we're 2 years old or we're 10 years old and they're talking. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's good. You know? There's no bad cholesterol and good cholesterol. It's just cholesterol. They say it's bad, supposedly, because it goes from the liver into the bloodstream. And they say it's good because it goes from the bloodstream into the liver for storage. And they did some very flawed studies, and they found that HDL, so-called good cholesterol, is associated with good health, LDL associated with bad health, blah, blah, blah. It's not true. It's just more medical gobbledygook. The fact is cholesterol is a vital, vital molecule. But here's the problem. Cholesterol is a fat, and fats are very unstable. They break down quickly. That breakdown process is called oxidation. You may have heard of it. Oxidized fats are big problems. This is why Dr. Wallach and intelligent nutritionists and healthcare professionals say, don't cook your fats. Don't fry your fats. Even though everybody's obsessed with deep fried foods, frying fats and cooking fats at high temperature makes them oxidize, and those are problems. Oxidized cholesterol, that is a problem. And that may be why elevated cholesterol is associated with these health challenges, is because they're not taking into account, it's not the cholesterol, it's the oxidized cholesterol, which is technically called oxycholesterol. And it's not just heat that oxidizes cholesterol. Chlorine from your tap water will oxidize cholesterol. Fluoride from your tap water will oxidize cholesterol. Nutritional deficiencies can lead to oxidized cholesterol, particularly deficiencies in selenium and vitamin E, which protect fats and protect cholesterol. Stressors can oxidize cholesterol. So oxidized cholesterol, that is a problem. And this is why you want to be careful about cooking your eggs too much. Eggs have wonderful cholesterol in them. And I find eggs to be the perfect food. And I'll tell you why they're the perfect food. Maybe on another talk, I'll tell you why they're the perfect food.
I love them.
I love them too, right? But raw eggs, that's the way you want to do your eggs, is raw. Make sure they're fresh. You don't want any cracks in them, and you don't want to have dirty eggs. You want to make sure they're clean and they're fresh. But given that they're clean and fresh, raw eggs are the way to go. If you're not going to, some people don't like the taste of raw eggs. And in a smoothie, by the way, raw eggs are delicious. But if you don't want to do your eggs raw, at least do them poached or soft boiled. What you don't want to do is fry them, and you don't want to subject the fats to heavy heat. Not only will you lose the benefits of the wonderful omega fats, omega-3s and omega-6s, and the fatty vitamins and the cholesterol, but you're actually going to be producing harmful compounds out of the fats. You're going to be making what are called lipid peroxides out of the fats, and these are very problematic molecules associated with cancer and cellular disruption, as well as oxidized cholesterol or oxycholesterol, and that is a problem.
Yeah, some people think they can get viruses from raw eggs. Is that, I guess if they're not good
salmonella. The big thing is salmonella in raw eggs, but you gotta, in order for salmonella to be an egg, the egg has to be an older egg, or it has to be cracks in it. It's very rare that an egg that you get at the supermarket that's been produced in a U.S. Department of Agriculture approved process is going to have salmonella in it. I suppose it can happen, but I've never heard of it, and I've been eating raw eggs my whole life.
Yeah, and it's better to get, pasture-raised chickens anyway. So
pasture-raised, make sure it's fresh, make sure there's no cracks in the eggs, and make sure everything's clean. You shouldn't have a problem.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else relating to digestion that you want to?
Oh my gosh, there's so much. You know what one of the most important and easiest things you could do when you digest your food, or to improve the digestion of your food? Chew.
Yes.
Chew your food. Here's another thing. Think about your food. Pay attention to your food. Here's another thing. Activate the vagus nerve or the parasympathetic nervous system. You have two nervous systems, right? You have the stress nervous system and what's called the rest and digest nervous system. The rest and digest nervous system is where you get the secretion of your digestive juices. So you get better digestion when you're relaxed when you eat. Don't eat when you're arguing with your spouse. Don't eat when you're watching the news. Don't eat when you're driving in your car. Don't eat when you're under duress, and you'll digest your food better.
And when you're enjoying it, it will slow you down from eating.
That's right. That's right. And you know why? Fast food. You know why they call fast food? Not because they make it fast, because you got to eat it fast. Because if you were to take that McDonald's hamburger and chew it real slowly, and feel that gristle and that salt and that mush and the bun, and you'd be disgusted. You have to swallow it basically real quickly. That's the only way anybody eats a McDonald's hamburger. An apple, on the other hand, you savor it. The juices are delicious. It gets better as it's sitting in your mouth. So understanding the nature of food, and you can understand the nature of food by actually savoring it and enjoying it. If it's a food you don't want to savor and enjoy, that's probably a food that you don't want to be eating. And unfortunately, the foods we love give us a big hit of pleasure, like French fries. But as you're chewing those French fries, it ain't so pleasurable after a while.
It's like an oil slick.
It's like, right? It's
I
mushy.
haven't eaten French fries in years, but I've
I
noticed
know.
when I've been in restaurants and their food is a little bit oily, I'm like, and I end up
Right.
getting sick.
And that, what you said is really important, because that's one of the cool things about changing your lifestyle. As you change your lifestyle, particularly as you change the way you eat, you start to not want the foods you used to think you wanted. And you actually crave the apples and the pears and the bananas or the peppers or whatever it is. You crave good foods, and somebody puts chocolate in front of you or French fries in front of you or pizza in front of you. And that might have been food that you loved a couple months before. And all of a sudden, I don't think I want that anymore. I've had pizza in years. I had French fry in years. And I've been, I was like anybody else when I was growing up. I could eat a whole pizza by myself. Now I can't even look at it, let alone eat a slice of it.
No. Yeah, so it's really important if something's grossing you out, just don't eat it. And when it comes to fresh fruit, the fiber in that fruit is meant as a complete food,
That's
and
right.
and you just don't want to drink apple juice. You want to eat the apple instead, and make sure it's organic, right?
Fruit juice, while it has a sort of reputation among the uninitiated as being good stuff, it's not. Fruit juice is like injecting sugar right into your bloodstream, essentially, because you don't have anything to slow up the release of sugar. It goes into your intestine and crosses over into the blood quickly, and it'll spike your blood sugar. And by the way, fructose has as much, it's not quite as bad probably as glucose. Arguably, it might be worse, because glucose can be used for energy. Fructose is stored in the liver. So, fruit sugar, you got to be very careful of. You got to respect fruit. And today's fruits, by the way, are not the same fruits that our evolutionary descendants enjoyed on the African savannah. We were lucky to get berries or a little crab apple. There were no big honeydews and watermelons and apples like this big that you get at the supermarket. Today's fruits have been bred to be not only bred to be super sweet, but the medicinal value of the fruits have been bred out, because those tend to be bitter. So in genetic modification, when they're genetically modifying apples and pears and berries, they're taking out the medicinal compounds, which tend to be bitter, and replacing it with sugar, with sweets. So today's fruits are very problematic. You want small fruits. You don't need to eat the whole apple or the whole banana. You can do half an apple, half a banana. You want to suck on it or chew it really, really slowly. And after you have your fruit, you might want to consider using some sweeties, which is chromium and vanadium, which are two very important minerals for helping the body process sugar.
Yeah, and also our produce, including the fruit, they don't have the same nutritional value, and that's why supplementation is just such a necessity.
Supplement, man. You got to supplement. It'll change your life. If somebody's out there listening is not used to supplementing or hasn't supplemented before, get this stuff right here. It's called Beyond Tangy Tangerine. I don't know if you talk about it, Debbie.
I have.
Amazing supplement. It costs you $70. If you do it, it'll last you if you do smaller amounts, it'll last you 2 months, $35 a month. If you do the way it's directed, it'll last you a month. It's the best $70 you'll ever spend. It'll change your life.
Yes. I mean, a lot of people don't realize it's been declining for 80 years. I mean, it's been a long time, where people noticed.
Depleted. That's right.
With a Senate report, they noticed that the
1930s. That was in the 30s.
Yeah. So, do you want to talk about the skin microbiome?
Oh, yeah. I'll talk about the skin. The skin microbiome is, there are these products now that talk about that supposedly help with the microbiome. They have probiotics in them. You can't really do that with the skin. I've been in the skincare business for 40 years. It's a mendacious, sneaky, nasty business. That's why I call my company Truth, because I hate the BS of the skincare business. It's filled with BS. One of the examples of the BS of the skincare business is these probiotic skincare products. The bacteria on your face change every split second, depending on every thought you think and everything you eat and your environment. They're constantly changing. And if you're trying to kill bacteria, a second later, they're coming back. Bacteria, they're constantly proliferating. So there's no way to kill bacteria or replace bacteria or change the microbiome other than what you're doing with your lifestyle. Topical products aren't going to do that. That being said, there's some incredible things you could do for your skin if you're interested in keeping your skin healthy. Yeah. But it involves the same thing that you got to do if you want your insides to be healthy. If you want your insides to be healthy, you got to eat right. You got to take nutrition. Right. If you want your outsides to be healthy, you got to use topical nutrition. This is what I discovered in my pharmacy. You may know this, but I have a dermatology pharmacy. I'm a dermatology pharmacist, and I specialize in making dermatology products for people with
And that's what
burns.
your offer is today, isn't it?
I got a 10% offer if you go to truthtreatments.com and enter Ben. There you go.
It's a 20% offer.
Oh, it's a code. You already got a code. Okay, I didn't know you had a code. There you go. So you're good. Yeah, you get 20% off. There you go. We love you, Debbie, and we love you, listeners. 20% off. All my products are 100% active and functional. I took the water out, the wax out, the silicone, vegetable oil, preservative, fragrance. The only thing that's in my products are nutrients, the Mighty 90 essential nutrients, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, fatty acids, especially fatty vitamin C, the most important kind, not the cheap ascorbic acid, and retinol, plant-derived minerals, etc., in transdermal vehicles, carriers that get those active ingredients to the living cells below. 2 benefits. Number 1, tiny amounts. You don't need a bunch of product on your skin. You only need a drop or 2 of my True Transdermal C Serum to get incredible benefits that you'll notice in one day. Glowing skin, healthier skin, more youthful skin.
And I love your products, Ben. I use them.
Thank you.
So you go to truthtreatments.com and you use that code TTS Debi, DEBI, all uppercase 20. So thank you for being on my show, Ben. I kind of misjudged time. This is my fault. And so please stick around. We may have time for closing remarks, okay?
Okay,
thank you. So remember, I do revitalize people's lives in many areas of health, and I guide you to correct your gut, as well as it gives you mental clarity. And pretty much I guide you with that clean, toxic-free foods and high-quality nutritional products that will make you feel better. It'll uplift your mood, and they will make you feel a lot better. And with my mindset coaching, you can release your stress, emotions, and as well as entanglements in the past. You already heard about my coaching. My mindset coaching will enhance your mind, and my other coaching will also help you have a more efficient body. So you can reach me at my Linktree, which is at Debi Changes Lives /Linktree. And the first meeting, you get to know me, I get to know you, and I'll guide you to optimum health. And I do have several assessments. The first one is a health evaluation. You can go to the next slide, which you will rate your symptoms in 4 categories of health in the last 30 days. It'll give you a health score. We'll review it, and we'll see if you want to move forward. I also have the ZytoLink scans. I have 2 different Zyto body scans, and I prefer to do the ZytoLink, which is a transdermal optical imaging app, because I can do it remotely. And so what it is I send you a link to your phone. It scans your face for 30 seconds. It's looking at your blood flow for components of emotional, functional, and energetic, and different body systems and lifestyles. It generates a wellness report, and it's going to tell you what biomarkers are out of range and what products and services that will bring it back into range. I do review. It's quite intensive. It's $50 for the scan, and you can also get a discount on it where you get 5 scans for the price of 4. If you need more information about the ZytoLink scan, you can look it up on PubMed.com for transdermal optical imaging, and as well as TOI to get more information on that. And my coaching programs, I have many of them. These are just 3. Take Your Body Back is a 12-week weight release mindset coaching program where you're going to use a new version of you to drive you. And all coaching is done on Zoom. The first one's private to you, where I go over your health, and I also give you 2 programs that you could choose from. I give you directions on 1. I also give you instructions to how to create a new version of you that will drive you with emotional passion so you can achieve your health and weight transformations. Anyways, there's coaching as a group or private where we celebrate wins, and I'll be getting you over your gaps. You will become a new you. Why fast? We already talked about, and you can do coaching with this too, with the 2 or 4 week program, as well as I do mindset and health coaching. And then I have a complimentary coaching session that's 30 minutes that you can be part of. It's in an intimate room. It's not recorded. It goes over, somebody will pick a topic for you. So I've talked about that in the past. It's at 4 p.m. on Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern. And you go to DebiChangesLives.com /chats. And finally, you can learn more about alternative health, programs, products, and services, as well as promos, events, and upcoming shows by signing up for my newsletter, and it's DebiChangesLives.com /radio TV show, all in one word. And I give you a 30-day health and mindset journal where you can record your gratitude and your foods you ate, exercise you done, and supplements you took, as well as track your measurements, and then you want to review it on a daily, monthly basis. Pretty much, this is a great health and wellness mindset awareness tool. I am certain that you found this show educational and inspiring, and reach out to me for my products and services, and reach out to Ben for his skincare products and his offer. Do we have time for Ben to come back?
Do you have time for me?
Yes, we have a minute.
Healthy skin is beautiful skin. That's what Truth Skin Health is all about. And here's a little tip for you. Last thing I'll say. If your beauty product can't be used on your baby's diaper rash or sunburn or cut or scrape and accelerate the healing of that cut, scrape, or burn or rash, it ain't a beauty product either. And all my Truth treatments, their pedigree and DNA is healing. So you can use our Truth Transdermal C Serum on shaving cuts or on burns or any other abraded or wounded tissue, and you'll accelerate the healing, because at the end of the day, healthy skin, healed skin is beautiful skin.
Yes. Well, thank you for being on my show, and I'll help you back.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Continue to enjoy my radio and TV show, Debi Changes Lives, on Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, where your holistic journey begins.